can start. Hi guys, I'm Thaiz, this is Kat. We are going to go through a Kinstretch session now. So just going to go through calves first. So I'll get you guys to stand up nice and tall and lock those elbows and shoulders down. We're going to start with neck calves. So just bring that chin towards your chest. Rotation, chin across the collarbone. Ear to shoulder side flexion. Extension into side flexion. And then chin all the way across collarbone. And then looking forward, another big breath in and opposite way. So nice and big neck circles here. If you guys feel any pain in any of these calves, pinching, just go for smaller calves or just shy away from the point where you're feeling pain. This goes for neck, shoulders, hips, all calves here. Glutes are nice and tight, so we're trying only to move here cervical spine, constantly sending shoulders down, sucking that belly button in, so we don't want any flexion extension through any other part of your spine here. And then just finish this rep in full. Once you finish this rep in full, arms go here in front of you, palms facing in, elbows nice and locked, and then we're gonna go shoulders up, back, down, and forward. So we're doing scap calves here. Nothing else moves. So shoulder elevation, and then retraction, protraction, and first one was depression. And then we finish with elevation. Nice, guys. And then all the way around. So elevation, protraction, depression, and retraction. Nice and slow. Again here, just imagine your shoulders drawing a big circle. No flexion and extension through your spine. The spine should stay still here. Awesome, guys. And then just crossing arms onto your chest. Make sure hips are nice and open. And bring that upper back into flexion, rotation, side flexion, extension, side flexion, rotation, back to flexion and up. And then you're going to go opposite way. So here, guys, just always keeping those glutes tight so your hips are open. You don't want to be doing hip flexion here. And just finish this last rep. And then we're going to bring one arm here across your chest, shoulder externally rotated, into flexion, and then internally rotating that shoulder. Back of your hand comes behind your hips, and then extension, unravel from that shoulder, back into flexion and external rotation. Let's go for a few shoulder calves here. Guys, make sure those hips are facing forward, so they square facing forward. Imagine you want those shoulders all the time in line, elbow is nice and locked. So all rotation here is coming from your shoulder capsule. And maybe let's go for our last rep. And once you finish this rep, just swap sides. So change over to the other shoulder. Nice work. Especially when we bring our arm here across our chest, guys. Try to stop any rotation coming from your thoracic spine. Nice, guys. And then finishing this rep in full. And then we're just gonna bring our arms down by your side here, palms facing forward. We're gonna bring elbows into flexion, and then palms rotating this way, extension. And then reset, flexion, rotate those palms facing forward, and extension. Let's go for a few reps there. So keep going this way. Here, guys, you aiming to not rotate through your shoulders. You want to be rotating here through these bones of your forearms. So not bringing shoulders into external or internal rotation. And then once you finish this rep, let's go all the way. Now palms facing back, flexion, and then supination, extension. Reset, flexion, supination, and extension. Palms facing back, elbow flexion, supination, and extension. Beautiful, guys. Finishing there. We're going to go down on our hands and knees. We're going to go for some hip curls here. So just make sure shoulders above hands, hips above knees. I'll ask Kat here to lock her elbows, suck her belly button in. So her spine here is quite neutral, quite flat, especially her lower back. And then let's go knee towards chest, out to the side, drawing a big circle all the way here, foot behind you. And then we bring hip extension all the way out to the side, back into flexion. So here, guys, we're aiming to not move our spine at all, especially now when Kat brings her hip into extension. We don't want to be arching our lower backs. So here, try to go very nice and slow. We're not aiming for reps here, guys. We're just aiming for maximum rotation, maximum flexion, maximum extension every single time you go through each of those movements. And then once you finish this rep in full, swap sides. Constantly sucking that belly button off the floor. You guys active here through your shoulders. So I want you to be pushing the floor away from you all the time. So draw that biggest circle with your knee here. Block any compensation coming from any other part of your body. And finishing there. And then Kat's just gonna sit down facing the camera for me. Here, guys, I want you to bring one leg closer, as close as possible from your chest. I want you to try now to get this femur here completely still. Just turn that foot out to the side, knee extension, foot in, and flexion here. And then out to the side, extension, in, and flexion. Let's go for a few more reps this way. So we're trying here to rotate our tibia and our fibula together. Nice, guys. And then all the way. So we are going to start inversion, knee extension, foot out to the side, and flexion. So feet in, extension, out to the side, and flexion. And maybe last one here, and then we swap sides. So other leg, just pull that leg towards your chest as much as you can. Out to the side, extension, in, and flexion. Foot out to the side, extension, in, and knee flexion. And then once you finish this rep, all the way around. So in, knee extension, foot out, knee flexion. Foot in, extension, out, and flexion. Awesome, guys. And then finishing this rep in full, we move into the other leg. And this time, I want you to have your hand slightly lower. Try to feel these two bones, front part of your leg, completely still. Imagine you're just drawing a big circle with your big toe. Go one way first and try to feel these bones here completely still this time. So we're trying to rotate through our ankle. And then let's go other way. And swapping sides. And other way, guys. Finishing that, getting into a quadruped position here. So again, hips above your knees, shoulders above your hands. Let's start with our spine into full flexion. This time, guys, I want you to start from your tailbone. So vertebra by vertebra, start bringing that spine into extension. So start softening your belly button, drawing the chest, those ribs towards the floor, and then you finish with full cervical extension here, and then from your chin towards the chest, flexion here, pushing that back up towards the ceiling, all the way towards the lumbar spine, and you finish with a strong posterior pelvic tilt. And just let's go for a few reps. Nice and slow here again, guys. So you want to be as thorough as possible. So try to move one vertebra at a time. If you feel there's an area, actually just stay there because we're going to work a bit of with a lumbar block and a thoracic block for spine segmentation very soon. And finishing last rep there. Now I'll just ask Kat, stay in that position, but this time she's gonna go down on her elbows. She's gonna have her hands here behind her neck. So this time, guys, this will block her thoracic spine. I want her to do exactly the same, but only here her lumbar spine. So if you see, she's tucking her tailbone under, rounding her lower back, and then getting into flexion, into extension. So once you guys are set, you can start. So we're doing exactly the same thing, which is cat and cow segmentation, but this time we're blocking our thoracic spine. So we're just working here our lumbar spine. So nice and slow. Again, try to work from your tailbone all the way until your L1, and then all the way back towards your tailbone. And maybe just finishing there. Next one here, sitting back on your heels. Hands just here, slightly in front of your shoulders. This time, guys, we're blocking lumbar spine. So we're working on thoracic and cervical spine. So extension starting from your chin all the way into flexion. So clearly here we see less range of movement because we're segmenting areas of the spine, which is completely natural here, guys. So just working cervical spine and thoracic spine. You will feel that your lumbar spine is completely blocked here. Exactly the same. Let's just go for a few reps here. And then after we finish this, we are done with our CAS sequence, our spine segmentation sequence, and we are going to start working a bit of rotational, a bit of hip rotation. Awesome. And finishing there. Beautiful. All right, so I'll just ask Kat to set herself up in a 90-90. Maybe Kat slightly, yes, that's perfect. That's perfect. So here, guys, once you set yourself into 90-90, I have cat here with her back foot in line with her back knee and knee in line with hip. Exactly the same here. So knee and hip in line, foot and knee in line. So everywhere I look, knees, hips, everything here has a right angle. From this position here, guys, if you feel as soon as you set yourself up here, you're leaning out to the side, it's too uncomfortable, you're welcome to grab anything you can pop under your front hip, and there you go. This is going to be slightly more comfortable. Guys, I want you, two options, either hands in front of you or arms, strong fist out to the side. We're going to be leaning over that front leg and all the way up. So we have 60 seconds there. So just set yourself up there. I'll get my stopwatch and going in 3, 2, 1. Off we go. So we have 60 seconds there, guys. What I want you to focus here, mainly the most important here, a nice and long spine. So imagine here, your spine is a block, and this block is super rigid, okay? So that spine doesn't get into any flexion. Imagine you want to touch your forehead on a brick wall 2 meters away from you. So just leaning over that front leg. As you lean, try at the same time to pull that front leg towards your chest. As you come back up, I want you to drive that front leg down into the floor as much as you can. So again here, either hands on at the front, or you can have arms here out to the side. If you have arms out to the side, guys, just make sure you create as much tension as you can. We're almost there. Maybe just go for your last rep here. And finishing there. And then here, guys, I want you to reset here nice and tall. A pelvic tilt here. So imagine you're just scooping the tailbone up and back. From this position here, guys, nothing might happen, which is completely fine. I want you to think about pushing your knee, your front knee, down into the floor and lifting your front foot off the floor. Maybe, Kat, would you mind just turning this way so people can see better? So knee down to the floor and foot up. We have 10 reps there. I'll count you through for this one. Here, guys, nothing else moves. If you do this effort and nothing happens, completely fine. I still want you to imagine you have a scale under your front foot and you want to make that foot super light on the scale. So get ready and let's go now. Lift and down. Up for 2, parachute down, 3, down, 4, and down, 5, down, 6, down, 7, down, 8, down, 9, down, last one, and down. Very nice, Cat. And then just crossing arms on your chest. Again, lengthening through that spine. And here, guys, just quickly have a look. I'll ask Cat to rotate her chest facing her back knee as much as she can, and then back facing forwards. So we have 60 seconds there. Once you're ready, you can start. My timer is on. So every time you rotate that chest towards your back knee, I want you to imagine that back leg getting super light on the floor as well. So rotate, try to lift that back leg off the floor, and then facing forwards again. So we have 60 seconds there, guys. Really squeezing those obliques. At the same time, you want to make that back leg super light on the floor. That back knee, that back foot, everything wants to lift, come off the floor. So we just worked external rotation, front hip. Now we're working a bit of internal rotation, your back hip. So last few reps here, guys. And imagine someone is just pulling your hair. You don't want it too hard. So you're really lengthening through that spine. And now I want you to stop facing forwards again. Hands are gonna go down into the floor. From here, we are going to be lifting our back foot off the floor and pressing our back knee into the floor. So we're working here, hip internal rotation. Here, guys, if you have a look at Kat really quickly, as she lifts that back foot, nothing else moves. Can you go? If this is happening, I want you to find a point. Maybe lean out to the side a little bit, and then you can go for reps without moving your body too much. I'll count you through. So just get ready and lift for 1, down, 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, 5, down, 6, down, 7, down, 8, down, 9, down, and awesome. Slowly down. Guys, if you need to stand up, go for a few hip circles here. If you want to give your hips a bit of a swivel, you're welcome to. And once you're ready, you can set yourself up 90-90 other side. So now your back leg comes in front leg back, and exactly the same. So either arms out to the side, hands in front of you. We're doing good morning, so we're just leaning over that front leg for 60 seconds, going now. So every time shoulders go closer to the floor, you also want to be lifting that front leg off the floor. So imagine once you're going down, I want you to be squeezing all these muscles here. So come down, squeeze all these muscles here, and try to lift your leg off the floor as well. Imagine here, guys, you're still hinging from your hips. Imagine every time you lean over that front leg, you're scooping that tailbone up and back. Should be getting a bit of a stretch outside part of our front hip here. So we have time for the last couple of reps. And finishing upright, reset if you need to. Now I want front knee driving down to the floor and front foot lifting off the floor. Let's go all together. Let's go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice, guys. Crossing arms on the chest here. Nice and tall. Rotating that chest over that back leg. Once you're ready, you can start. So we have another 60 seconds there. So here, guys, Kat's really squeezing those obliques. At the same time, she is trying to make that leg super light on the floor. Nice catch. Just last 10 seconds here, guys. Every single rep, try to fight for that extra degree of rotation. Nothing here, guys, is about how many reps you get done. Just really try to achieve good quality in every single movement you go for. And then you're gonna finish, hands are gonna go down to the side, drive those fingertips down into the floor, lower those shoulders, and we're lifting that back foot off the floor, nothing else moves. Let's start now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Nice work. Awesome, guys. If you want to stand up a little bit, walk those legs off. And then we are moving into a bit of hip extension and flexion work. So I'll get Kat, maybe, do you want to face this way? Yes. So guys, here we're going to get into kind of a lunge position. So if you have a look here before you set yourself up, so Kat here has one of her hips right above her back knee. And then one leg in the front. This leg here, guys, doesn't need to be completely straight, yeah? So actually, let's all unlock those knees and maintain a bit of knee flexion there. Guys, here you see Kat, she's got yoga blocks under her hands. So you guys are welcome to use yoga blocks, a pile of books, and also sticks. So if you have 2 sticks here, you're welcome to hold that stick. So guys, here, what I want you to set what I want you to do first, just find that stretch. So Kat, would you mind just coming up a little bit? So here, guys, if you see her back, still nice and neutral, try to hinge from your hips, maintaining that nice and neutral back. So if you have a look here at Kat, her back is not into flexion. Can you round your back here, Kat? So not like this. So just again, imagine you have a brick wall even 5 meters away from you and you want to touch that forehead on the wall. So just find that stretch first, guys. And once you find that stretch, stay there for me and I'll talk you through what we're doing here. Guys, just stay there for me. I'll just reset the camera here because it has a maximum of 30 minutes. Kat's gonna help me because I have no idea how to reset the camera.
Oh, you can leave that iPad in that, so don't worry about the iPad.
Hmm?
Don't worry about the iPad if you want.
Oh, because we have that, that's true.
So I've just restarted.
Nice, guys. So just find that stretch for me. From here, we have tails and rails. So first, what we are doing, I'll ask you to drive that heel down to the floor and back. So imagine here, you want to bring that heel towards your butt. So that's first contraction we're doing. The second contraction, I'll ask you to think about all these muscles here, and without moving anything, try to lift that front leg off the floor without rocking back. So here, guys, we have 10 seconds each. This time, instead of counting time, I will call 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100% of your maximum strength. So I want you guys to be ramping intensity up within those 10 seconds. So getting ready, first contraction, we're gonna go heel, down and back. Let's go now. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100%. Last, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Now imagine all this tissue here. So on your closing angle, squeeze that for me. Make that leg super light on the floor. Now I'll count time for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay there. Don't move your body position. Just stay there for me. Relax. We have one more tail contraction, one more rails contraction. Before, just take a big inhale. As you exhale, see if you can go a little bit deeper, not down, forwards. All right, so drive that heel down and back. Scoop that heel back in the floor. Let's go Now 20%. Increase to 40%. And 60%. 80. 100. Maximum effort here for 3, 2, 1. Relax. Big inhale. As you exhale, lift that entire leg off the floor and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stay there for me. Relax, but don't come out of this position. Alrighty. This time, guys, here, I want you to just slowly come out of that stretch. You'll see that Cat is moving the yoga blocks back a little bit. And from here, guys, what I want you to do, I'll ask Cat, just have a look here, to lift her chest up and bring her front leg with her. So this angle here shouldn't change at all, yeah? Instead of chest up, delay, and then bringing her leg up, yeah? And we are going to go for 10-second hold. So chest goes up, bring that leg with you, and hold for 10 seconds. Alrighty, so getting ready, and let's go. Bring that chest up, leg with you, hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back down, and slowly, slowly bend that front knee and come out of that position, guys. Awesome. Do you want to face the camera now? Capture at a different angle. All right, guys, and then here we're just swapping sides, so exactly the same body position here. Back hip right above that back knee. We're unlocking that front knee. We're still gonna get heaps of stretch here. So you can use yoga blocks, sticks. I just want you to find that stretch first. Nice and long spine. Also here, guys, just make an effort to keep those hips square, yeah? So constantly pulling that front hip back and pushing that back hip forwards. So that should increase your hamstring stretch as well. So again, we have 2 fails, 2 rails, 10 seconds each. 1, I'll count time, other one, I'll just count through intensity. I'll just go through intensity with you guys. So first one here, driving that front heel down into the floor as you wanted to hamstring out that leg. So imagine you want to bend that knee and bring that heel towards your butt. Let's go now, 20%, 40, 60, 80, maximum effort. Stay there for 3, 2, 1. Now imagine here, all this tissue here between the front part of your thighs, your hips, your core. Squeeze that, make that leg super light on the floor. Let's go now for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Don't change anything here in your body position. I appreciate this is quite a long hold, guys. And let's go again. Heel down and back for 20%. 40%. 60. 80. Maximum effort here, guys, for 3, 2, and 1. Now imagine you've got a scale here right under your heel. You want to make that foot super light on the floor. Lift that leg. Hold for me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now just slightly come out of that stretch. If you need to move your hands towards your hips a little bit. So now it's the time when I will ask you guys to lift your chest basically facing forward, and you bring that front leg with you. So that angle here on your hips cannot change. Getting ready, like a seesaw, rock back, bring your leg with you. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly, slowly back down and coming out of it. So bring that knee into flexion. If you want to go for a child's pose, swivel hips, anything that just brings you a bit of relief for your hips. How you feel? All right, guys, and then we're moving into shoulders. For shoulders, we will need a wall. So that might be a bit tricky because our cat will be facing the wall. I'll just quickly explain what we do here, guys. So we're going to stand facing the wall. So you guys, just so you guys understand, I'll just get you maybe face the camera first. So guys, imagine the wall is here right in front of her. She's going to get her arm across her chest and use the wall to push her arm towards her chest. One thing that I don't want you guys to do is to rotate. So make sure your chest is square facing the wall. So I'll get Cat to the actual position here. So I want you guys here to feel quite a big stretch back of your shoulder. Just get into that position for me, guys. I appreciate you might not be looking to the camera, but you guys will be fine. I'll just talk you through. So just get into that stretch first. Make sure that chest is square facing the wall. The arm will be either straight or you will have a slight flexion on your elbow. That's completely fine. We have 2 contractions here again. First contraction, I just want you to think about pushing that entire arm evenly into the wall. And second contraction here, guys, I want you to be squeezing the front part of that shoulder, your chest, and try to lift that arm off the wall. Bring that arm even closer from your chest. I know there's no room. You'll be like, oh, but nothing will happen here because my arm cannot go closer to my chest. That's now completely fine. I still want you to be squeezing that chest as much as you can. 10 seconds each. I will go 20, 40, 60, 80%. I just want you to ramp intensity up. So you don't need to be like, oh, but how much is 60% of what I think is my maximum strength? Just for you to have a bit of an idea to go from less to very intense contraction. All right. So first, just pushing that arm into the wall as you want it to come out of that position. Let's go now. 20%, 40, 60, 80, 100. Stay there for 3, 2, 1. Nothing moves. Now think about lifting that entire arm off the wall and hold for me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. If you feel you have room to get closer from the wall, please do it so. So if you want to step, take a little step towards the wall, or if you want to lean on the wall a little bit more, please do it so. So first contraction here, just imagine guys from here, you want to come out of it and bring that front arm out to your side. Let's go now, 20%, 40, 60, 80, maximum effort, last 3, 2, 1. Now squeeze your chest, front part of that shoulder. Bring that arm even closer to your chest. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Don't come out of it yet. Now I want you to focus that shoulder angle you have. I'll ask you guys to take a big step away from the wall and hold that front arm where it is. So don't let that front arm open and go out to the side. And let's go now. Take a big step off the wall and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice, guys. And then just come out of it. Roll your shoulders if you need to. I hope you guys got this one. And let's swap sides. So same thing here. So if you guys want to have a quick look at me before you set yourself up, that's the position here. Try not to rotate. So my chest is facing the wall, nice and square. You will have a slight flexion on your elbow. That's completely fine. Alrighty. So first contraction here, guys. If you want to have a quick look at the camera, just if you need to, you are trying to do this. And second contraction, imagine the wall is here. I'm trying to get my arm off the wall. So I'm squeezing all this tissue here. So let's go first contraction, evenly pushing that arm into the wall. Let's go now, 20%, 40, 60, 80, 800, maximum effort for last. 3, 2, 1. Now squeeze your chest, front part of that shoulder. Lift that arm off the wall. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just relax. Stay in that body position. If you feel you have room to get even closer from the wall, you can. And let's go again. Tails. Pushing that arm into the wall. 10, 9, 8. Ramp that intensity up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now pull the arm even closer from your chest. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay there. Keep that arm exactly where it is. Now slowly, slowly move away from the wall and hold that body position for me for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly, slowly coming out of it. If you want to roll those shoulders, very nice, everyone. Cat was working hard. All right, guys. Guys, for this next one here, you will need a stick, a broomstick, or even if you have, you know, those little things we put plates on to work with, like weights, you can use one of those. And then also a book or a yoga block to use as a pillow. So I'll get Kat here to lie down on her side, facing the camera. Of course. So here, guys, body position first. Just have a look before you set yourself up. So bottom arm to have elbow slightly lower than her shoulder. So her elbow is not completely here. It's a little bit like this. Then we're gonna grab the stick and I'll ask Kat to have her thumb sticking out like this. So it's easier for me to cue you. Guys, let's all start on our right side. So then it's easy for me. I know you guys at home will be understanding my cues easily. That's what we're doing here. From this position, I want you to think about bringing that pinky away from your body. So just be careful here. You don't want to have the stick on your head. So now she's rotating that pinky out, and her thumb is pointing to her knees. So again here, guys, I'll just show you one more time because this can be a bit tricky here to understand. Palm facing her, thumb here pointing to her head, just rotating that pinky all the way out. Be careful with the stick. And that's how we finish here. Then I'll ask Kat to use her top hand to push even more into that stretch. So here now, her thumb still pointing towards the knees, and her palm is facing the camera. Here guys, see if you can have a strong hold, yeah? So try really to grab the stick nice and strong here. You right there, Kat? Yeah? All right, guys, from here, I imagine you guys can see me at the camera. We have two different things we're doing. So first one, I'll ask her to use her pinky here to push the stick into her hand. Second contraction, I'll ask her to remove this hand and stay exactly where she is. And if she can even rotate more into that stretch, you're welcome to. And then hand back on the stick, yeah? So we're working here a bit of pronation and supination wrist. So just get into that stretch for me, guys. Rotation here is not coming from your shoulder. So shoulder here is nice and settled just under your body. It comes from your wrist. So first contraction here, again, we're using that pinky to push the stick into our hand. This hand here, our support hand. Let's go now for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now slowly remove that hand, hold. Try even to rotate more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Head goes back there. So this is really good, guys. If you have any history with elbow pain, this is a really good Kinstretch exercise. So we're aiming a bit of wrists and elbows here. And again, so we're going for pails first. Push that stick into your hand. Let's go now for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remove that hand. Try to bring that stick more rotation, even more rotation. Come on, stay there. Come on, stay there. Last. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand back on the stick and slowly, slowly coming out of it. And then we have to set ourselves up on the side. So same side lying position here, guys. Always when we talk about side lying, hips stacked on top of each other, shoulders stacked on top of each other. Here, your bottom shoulder. Depress that bottom shoulder and make sure that bottom shoulder is locked because we're working here wrists, okay? So again, I will have Kat palm facing her, and then she's gonna just rotate that pinky away from her body. Be careful with the stick here, guys. And now use the top hand to go a little bit deeper into that rotation. So just push the stick away from you, that bottom part of the stick here. All right, guys, once you are ready, so first, remember just pushing stick into that support hand. Let's go now for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remove that hand. Try to bring that stick, that wrist in more rotation. Stay there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And back on the stick. And use that pinky to push the stick here into your hand. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And remove that hand. Stay there. See if you can get that pink even more away from your body. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly, slowly coming out of it. Awesome, guys. Alrighty. And then to finish, we're gonna go for trunk circles. So I'll just get Kat here to get into a straddle for me. Guys, if you need to elevate hips for your straddle, just pop yoga block or a book under your hips. See how you go. And then I want you to have another book, can be a cushion, anything here. So arms crossed on your chest. I'll give this one to Ed. So we're going for trunk circles here, guys, in a different base. So exactly what we did at the beginning of the class. So we're just gonna bring that upper spine into flexion. So imagine here, you wanna touch your elbows, bony part of your hips, and then we're gonna go into rotation, side flexion, extension, side flexion, rotation, back into flexion. Guys, I just want you here to be very, very conscious about hinging from hips and getting hips into flexion. Imagine your hips, this bony part of your hips, they stay right over the sit bones. So here, you're nice and open, only your upper spine. Yeah, so we have 90 seconds here. You're gonna go one way and then back the other way. So once you set up, you can start. Again, if you need to elevate hips on a yoga block, please do it so. And just try to feel how different this can be from the standing position, from the high kneeling position. So we can work trunk circles here on a straddle, on a 90-90, on a deep squat. So different bases. So every time you position your pelvis in a different way, that might affect the way your spine can move, how much range of movement you have. And again here, trying to fight for every extra degree of flexion, side flexion, rotation, extension. Make sure that neck is nice and neutral here. Nice, guys. We have last 45 seconds or so. So just remember one way and then the other way. Nice catch. Trying always to be sitting down on the very top of our sit bones here, guys. So everything is happening mid and upper spine. Not flexing through our hips. And last 10 seconds, so you might have time to start one last trunk circle or finish the rep you are on. And finishing there. Awesome. Alrighty, guys, and then just lie down on your backs. Arms can go either out to the side or down by your side, completely up to you. Straight legs on the floor. And just deep, big inhale. I want you to send the air all the way down to your belly. Most people's favorite part of the class. And then I want you to inhale and trap the air in your belly for 4 to 5 seconds. So trap that air down and count 1, 2, 3, 4, and strong exhale. I want you to feel those legs super, super heavy on the floor. Relax. Get back to your normal breathing. And then just roll over on your side. Slowly, slowly. And get back up. Cat's ready for the nap. And that was Kinstretch for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you soon. Thanks, Cat. Bye.